When you're painting things like these pandanus leaves, sometimes they can be really overwhelming because there's a lot going on. So what I find it really helps to do is I always look for a few different light sources, but I look for the light being bounced up from the bottom, and I look from some light being bounced down from the top or coming down from the top. And then I use that, I just go through quickly and just kind of rough in where they are, and that then helps me get an idea of whether or not those leaves are going to work or whether or not everything's in the right place. Then when that's done, I come back and I put the highlights on and repeat the same process with the highlights. So this leaf here, I'm just going to come through and do this. That leaf's out there in the wilderness. And what I've done is I've mixed a little bit of green and a little bit of French ultramarine blue together. And those are the colours. It's kind of a cross between the pandanus tree colour and the sky. So it's a nice trick too if you want a leaf to go away from you. Put more sky on it. So I've put that kind of highlight on there, and it's not the lightest light, but now I'm going to come back and on the underside of all of these leaves, put that little bit of gold there. And believe it or not, that simplifies everything, because now I've got my darks already established, and now I'm just tidying up some edges, but putting in some borders. So for example, there is now this gold, the dark and the blue. So it's nice and simple. So all I have to do now is come back and do some transitions. So for example, soften those transitions between this gold and the darker green, or between this blue and the darker green, and most of the work's done. So now I've added a little bit of green to that gold colour, and I'm just now softening that little bit of a transition here and there strategically. And hopefully they'll make what I said before make sense. So I've added a little bit of green to that bluey colour, and I'm just going to soften those transitions there. So now I'm just coming back and putting some highlights, just bumping up those highlights a little bit. Okay, and I can do the same thing on that part of the branch there. You can see that it's going to have sky reflected on it. So, like I said before, when you've got something really complicated like a pandanus leaf or tree or a head, for example, like that, it's a really good idea to kind of make a little plan and break it down. So as I said, what I've done is I've broken the leaf almost into two halves. One part where the light's bouncing up from the underside and another part where the light's sort of coming down from the top. And then I can kind of do a little gradation there and a little gradation there. And it sort of simplifies the whole thing. It doesn't make it less tedious sometimes. You've got to paint every single leaf, but at least it sort of takes some of that overwhelm out of it. And if you really want to challenge yourself and give yourself a mental health issue, we do have a little tutorial about the detail in pandanus trees, somewhere about there. Okay, there. Here.